off in Macau for a couple of games next fall. And some F1, a grid penalty for Charles Leclerc could end Ferrari's hopes of beating McLaren for the Constructors' title. Ferrari says they had to change the battery pack on Leclerc's car in the first practice session in Abu Dhabi and expects a 10-place penalty on the grid for Sunday's race. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Interest rates have finally started coming down for the first time in 4 years. Now is the time to use a Flexi line from Capital Direct to take control of your plans and finances and make it happen. Maybe it's that renovation you've been thinking about or investing in a new property. If you could borrow $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million, how would you invest in yourself, your life, and your future? Find out why Canadians have been trusting Capital Direct for decades. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
CapitalDirect.ca. You might not think much about how a strong Canadian oil and gas industry affects your daily life. From getting where we need to go, to essentials we need delivered, to things we rely on to keep society running. But what if that system suddenly stopped working? How much would you miss the time when you didn't have to think about it? See how we're helping Canada run smoothly at Cenovus.com.
680 News Time was 1:18. A 40-year-old man in hospital after he was shot during a fight with another man at a home in North York. Police say this happened around 11:30 last night at Jane and Driftwood. The victim's injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. No arrests have been made. Meanwhile, a father in Texas has been charged with fatally shooting his adult son with Down syndrome after claiming he had mistaken him for an intruder.
Sheriff's investigator Joseph McDonough thought he had seen everything in his career until Monday.
It is a bizarre crime.
Houston attorney Michael C. Howard called to say that he had mistaken his 20-year-old son for an intruder and shot him.
And then his words cremated his son in accordance with what he felt his son would have wanted.
The 68-year-old Howard is charged with murder, desecration of a corpse, and tampering with a crime scene. He's held on $10 million bond. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
680 News Time 1:19. This country launching a new Arctic foreign policy. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly says Canada will appoint a new Arctic ambassador and the opening of 2 new consulates in the region.
What is new is that Russia is increasingly dependent on China because of its war in Ukraine. It is reversing its historic posture by opening its Arctic to China. And this is fulfilling the long-time aim of China, which has declared itself as a near-Arctic state.
The policy also highlighting a need to work even closer with the U.S. to maintain a secure North American homeland. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 1:19.
680 News Radio, Toronto.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Ciao, I'm Dominic Vimucci, and I have exciting news to share. Ciao Rewards is here. Turn your love for pizza into delicious rewards. Download our new app and start earning points to redeem for free pizza and exclusive offers. Taste the difference even more with Ciao Rewards.
439 Pizza Nova.
Hi, Alan Marion from Marion Pianos, announcing our largest holiday clearance sale ever. Every piano is reduced to clear. Choose from over 300 open box premium digital and acoustic pianos, all certified and warranted, starting from just $295. And brand new baby grands from just $89.95. Merriam's Holiday Clearance Sale, Canada's largest selection, on now at all Merriam and Robert Lowry locations.
680 News Time is 1:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones with Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Eastbound on the Gardner at Parkside. Only the left lane is open. 2 right lanes are still closed for dump truck fire cleanup. So it's jammed on the eastbound Gardner from Park Lawn to Parkside. And eastbound Lakeshore, pretty busy approaching Parkside through to Jameson. Northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, it's slow from Don Mills to north of Lawrence, but you should make good time on the northbound 404. And westbound on the 401, still still a problem west of the 404 in the Express. The right lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. It's quite slow through the city on the westbound 401 from Warden to Avenue, Express hand collectors. Back up eastbound on the 401 from about south of Pearson to Keele, alternately Express hand collectors. Just got word from MTO, northbound 400, the problem at Highway 89, that's cleared away now. If you're traveling city streets, North Queen is closed in both directions east of the 427. All lanes shut down between Atomic and Shorncliffe for a collision investigation. And nearby, northbound East Mall is closed at Burnhamthorpe. That's for broken water main repairs. We all love feel-good stories, so listen today at 2:23 for the feel-good story of the day. Brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Visit desjardins.com/care today. And with the extended forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, system will bring us more snow tomorrow. It will be widespread and a few centimeters expected. And then we're getting milder temperatures with a shift in the wind direction Sunday. So Sunday into Monday, we are expecting a few showers. Not so much on Sunday, maybe just a chance in the morning and again at night. But Monday, we're going to see some rain showers, probably mixed in with a bit of snow north of the 401. Now, at the moment, we're still dealing with squalls. The worst of it, of course, is north and west of the GTA, but some light snow in parts of York Durham right now. We had some downtown as well, where right now it's just overcast. So we're kind of quiet at the moment, but it's on and off for the rest of the afternoon. Right now it's -3, the guaranteed high -1.
680 News Time is 1:23.
Black Friday madness is over. But rest easy. Black Friday deals have been extended at Sleep Country with the best offers on the best brands. Get any size of purple sheet sets and Silk and Snow Relax linen sheets for the price of a twin. Plus, right now, save the tax on everything, including sheets, duvets, and more for a limited time only. Black Friday Extended is on now at Sleep Country. Don't miss it. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to All News Radio. If you're relying on cabs to get around the city this holiday season, Toronto police want to make sure you're getting into a legitimate one. There's been an increase in reported taxi scams, especially outside of busy venues like theaters, arenas, as well as transit hubs. Typically, the driver refuses cash while a second person posing as a passenger asks for you to help with paying at debit or credit card. That's in exchange for cash. The driver then switches out the card with another one. Here's how to avoid getting ripped off. If you think the terminal is fake, put in the wrong PIN on purpose. If it's not the real thing, it will say payment approved anyway. If safe, take pictures of the taxi and the taxi number as well. Call your bank or log on to your banking app to lock or cancel your card as well. Coming up, we will have a look at Christmas news. 680 News Time, 1:24.
How do you, Subway holiday lover?
I'm dreaming of a turkey sub.
Well, hold on to your chestnuts for Subway's new festive faves meal. A 6-inch turkey sub with cranberry Dijon, crispy potato rings, and 2 red velvet cookies.
Ooh, jingle my bells.
No thank you, but all this delicious and fixins for just $8.99.
Yum. Maybe some sugar plums.
No idea what that is. The new festive faves meal. A merry $8.99. Only at Subway. At participating Canadian restaurants. Extras additional. Terms and conditions apply.
By the fireplace.
Brilliant deals are on with the IKEA winter sale. And now is your time to snuggle into savings of up to 50% off select items throughout the store. The IKEA winter sale runs December 3rd to 31st. Prices like these won't last, so shop in-store or online for quality items at cozy prices. No better time to save than December 3rd to 31st. IKEA, bring home to life.
North York is getting ready for the holidays.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is...
Holiday Fair in the Square opening today at Mel Lastman Square, featuring skating, artisan, and food vendors along with Santa's Village for the adults. There's the Polar Point Bar where you sip on seasonal favorites like mulled wine. The event will run right up to the 23rd of December.
Sing a love song while we stroll along.
Can't go wrong with a little buble at Christmas time. Coming up, we'll have Business 680 News Time, 1:26.
Christmas news.
25 minutes past the hour.
On 680 News Radio Toronto.
Time now for the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. We go to the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, John, there is a pretty good chance we're going to see an interest rate cut of 0.5 point by the Bank of Canada next week. 51,000 jobs added last month, the biggest monthly increase since April. The unemployment rate, though, did tick higher, the 6.8%, and that is the highest since 2017 outside of the pandemic. Doug Porter is chief economist at the Bank of Montreal.
They've shown willingness to cut quickly before, and I think that's probably the judgment they're going to make next week to cut by 0.5 point.
Now, the interest rate announcement is Wednesday. As it stands right now, there is a 77% chance we see a 0.5 point cut. The Canadian dollar is sinking. It's down 0.6%, 78.68 cents U.S., although oil today closed to a 3-week low, down 82 cents, 67.48. The TSX hit a record high again today. It's up 84 points, 25,764. Records for the S&P and the NASDAQ as well. The S&P will try for its 57th record closing high this year. Right now it's up 16. The NASDAQ higher by 147. The Dow is down 67. Shares in Lululemon higher by 18.5% today after a solid earnings report. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
At Dynamic Funds, we believe that investment performance matters. Invest with advice. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
All right, Sunwing team, we survived Black Friday. Time to sit back, relax, and...
Well, there's still Cyber Monday.
What?
You know, our Cyber Monday deals. Plus our daily door crashers that change every morning at 9 a.m. so customers can take advantage of a new deal on a different resort or destination every day.
But we just...
Oh, yeah. You thought Black Friday was exciting? It's about to get real.
Oh.
Book Sunwing's Cyber Monday deals now at...
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Russia's top diplomat says Moscow doesn't want a war with the U.S., but will use all means to defend its interests. Speaking with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Sergei Lavrov says no nation should underestimate Moscow's ability to do whatever it's needed to protect Russia.
If they are following the logic which some Westerners have been pronouncing lately, that, well, don't believe that Russia has red lines. They announce their red lines. These red lines are being moved again and again and again. This is a very serious mistake.
Speaking about a potential peace deal, Lavrov reaffirming Russia's demand that Ukraine pull back its forces from the 4 regions that Russia annexed in September of 2022 and renounce its bid to join NATO. Right now, -2 in downtown Toronto with a wind chill of -8 and overcast. 680 News Time, 1:30.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good afternoon. This is Friday, December 6th. I'm Sarah Parrott.
And I'm John Leatherby. Here's what's making news this hour.
With the country's unemployment rate hitting a 7-year high, the Bank of Canada will slash its key interest rate again next week, and it could be a big cut.
The new CEO of Metrolink says he has one big priority.
Get the Eglinton Crosstown delivered as fast as we could.
But we're asking what exactly he's going to do to get the long-delayed LRT going.
A somber day across Canada to mark the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women on the 35th anniversary of the Montreal Massacre at École Polytechnique.
Ontario is seeing a surge in whooping cough cases with the highest rate among 10 to 14-year-olds. Health experts are telling all ages to get vaccinated.
The Maple Leafs ready to welcome the Capitals to Scotiabank Arena this evening as they go for a 4th straight. And we've got a Sportsnet 1 doubleheader as part of a hectic Friday night around the NBA. Sports at 45.
A record high on Bay Street while our loonie drops by more than 0.5 cent after the latest jobs report, and records on Wall Street too. Business at 56.
680 News Time is 1:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Sportsnet. Eastbound on the Gardner at Parkside. 2 right lanes still closed for dump truck fire cleanup. This has been going on since just after 10:30 this morning. So eastbound Gardner, it's jammed from Park Lawn to Parkside. A slow go eastbound Lakeshore from about Parkside to Jameson. If you're heading up the northbound DVP, that's busy from Don Mills to north of Lawrence. Westbound on the 401, still this problem west of the 404 in the Express. The right lane is blocked because of a stalled truck. And it's busy here westbound 401 from Warden to Avenue, both express and collectors. On the eastbound 401, we just had a call from a traffic spotter about some tire debris. So be careful eastbound 401 heading past the 407. Sounds like that tire debris is in the 3 right lanes. As for delays on the eastbound 401, it's slow from approaching the 427 to Kiel, alternately express and collectors. A bit busy through Bayview, express and collectors. And if you're heading into Durham, it's slow from east of Westney to east of Salem. Southbound on the 400, that gets busy just as you're approaching the 401 ramps, and you'll find it busy southbound 404 DVP from Finch to south of Lawrence. On city streets, a couple of closures. North Queen is blocked in both directions east of the 427 between Atomic and Shorncliffe, and that's due to a collision. Broken water main that looks a lot more like a sinkhole at this point. Northbound East Mall at Burnham Thorpe, all lanes are closed there for those repairs. Matthews and the Leafs face off against Crosby and the Penguins. It's a star-studded hockey night in Canada. Leafs-Penguins, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on Sportsnet. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, still some snow with some scattered flurries and isolated periods of snow for the GTA this afternoon and evening. Of course, the worst is through the snow belt, which is still getting hit pretty hard in some areas, especially Barrie northward. So off of Georgian Bay, that's where we're seeing some of the heavier accumulation, and it's been that way for a while now. So being mindful on the roads today, and the winds are quite blustery. It's quite cold, so you need to dress right now for a wind chill of pretty much -10. Our guaranteed high today, -1.
Right now, it is -2 in downtown Toronto. 680 News Time is 1:33.
The country's unemployment rate hit its highest level since 2017, despite Canada adding more than 50,000 full-time jobs last month.
So, what will this mean for the next interest rate announcement by the Bank of Canada? Here's 680 senior business analyst Mike Empel.
The economy added a very respectable 51,000 jobs last month, double the forecast. A lot of it was public sector and education and healthcare, but overall some pretty good numbers. The issue, though, was the size of the labor force. The number of people looking for jobs spiked by over 130,000, which was a sizable increase. Doug Porter is the chief economist at BMO Capital Markets.
That was one of the largest increases that we've ever seen. 138,000 people entered the labor force in a single month. Just to put in perspective, outside of the pandemic years, we've not seen an increase that large.
Now, with the unemployment rate continuing to climb and the latest GDP statistics pointing to a negative performance 6 quarters in a row per capita, the market now pricing in a 50 basis point interest rate reduction by the Bank of Canada next Wednesday. At the Business Centre, I'm Mike Uppel.
Well, the province of Ontario is asking the Bank of Canada to cut interest rates next week. We get more from our business analyst, Chris McCusker.
Shortly after StatsCan released the November jobs report, the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade issued a statement. Vic Fedeli says Ontario's added nearly 200,000 jobs this year, highlighting the resilience of our economy. But he adds the latest stats remind us that challenges persist, and that underscores the need for the Bank of Canada to lower interest rates. Fedeli says it's a critical step in supporting job creation, rebuilding our economy, and creating opportunities for workers across the province. The next interest rate announcement by the Bank of Canada is Wednesday. I'm Chris McCusker.
All News Radio time is 1:35. Metrolinx with a new CEO, but what exactly is he going to do to get the long-delayed Eglinton Crosstown up and running? 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern asking him.
The new head of the beleaguered transit agency, Michael Lindsay, tells me he has one big priority.
Get the Eglinton Crosstown delivered as fast as we could.
But when I ask him if the line will be up and running at some point in 2025, it's greeted with laughter.
Will the Eglinton Crosstown open at some point in 2025, sir?
I will do everything that I can to bring that project online.
But what is he going to do that the outgoing Phil Verster didn't?
Well, I'm going to start talking to partners and government, and I'm going to talk to the staff at Metrolinx.
Green Party leader Mike Schreiner says he's he's not so convinced Lindsay's the right man for the job.
I would say to the new president, if you're going to gain confidence of people, you need to come out now and be honest with the people of Ontario why the Eglinton Crosstown has been delayed, why it is so far over budget. Stop hiding behind secrecy and just be honest with people.
The Crosstown now in its 14th year of construction. Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
This is 680 News Radio. It's 1:36. Ceremonies are being held across the country today, including here in Toronto, to mark a bleak anniversary. It's been 35 years since the Montreal massacre at École Polytechnique. And 680's Momin Qureshi joins us live from Women's College Hospital near Bay and College. Momin.
Sarah, ceremony wrapping up in just the last half hour here in the auditorium at Women's College Hospital. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and Mayor Olivia Chow both taking part in the ceremony honoring the 35th anniversary of the Montreal massacre at École Polytechnique, where 14 women were murdered simply for being women. Another 14 were shot and survived. Now, Mayor Olivia Chow speaking to us afterwards, saying that what happened on that day 35 years ago, she remembers very vividly, launching into basically fundraising to help people out. And she said that actually inspired her to talk about the way intimate partner violence affected her own family.
You hide it, right? And after December 6th, as I reflected more, as more people spoke up, I thought, gee, I'm not alone. That I need to start speaking out and that I need to work for change.
The mayor actually also announcing that the city is giving $100,000 to Interval House, that is a foundation that helps women experiencing intimate partner violence find ways to escape their situation. Reporting live, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time is 1:38. Breaking news from Etobicoke, where one man is dead after a two-vehicle crash. This happened around 11:45 this morning at Atomic Avenue and North Queen Street near the 427 and the Queensway. Kyle Hawking is over the scene at Chopper 680.
Looks like this was a fairly high-speed collision between a black sedan and a black SUV, both now facing perpendicular to the roadway and both with front-end damage. It's hard to tell exactly which vehicle was traveling in which direction when the two vehicles collided, but they both do have that front-end damage. It's heavier damage to the black SUV, which is up on a curb as well. The collision reconstruction unit is here, and the entire section of North Queen has been taped off. It is closed officially between Atomic and Shorncliffe, so that's east of the 427, east of the East Mall, but west of Kipling.
The victim was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Two other people suffering minor injuries.
And the province is seeing an uptick in the number of whooping cough cases.
Pertussis, or whooping cough, is a highly contagious bacterial infection. Symptoms include intense, uncontrollable coughing. There have been more than 1,400 cases reported in Ontario so far this year. That's quadruple last year and the highest number since 2007. Most are in 10 to 14-year-olds, with 4 babies being admitted to the ICU. Toronto's number is nearly 200, York Region 112. But Public Health Ontario says the rate per 100,000 population is actually low. Toronto Public Health says the best way to prevent infection is to make sure you and your children are vaccinated. I'm Charlene Close.
680 News Time, 1:39.
Ho, ho, holy moly.
Santa, welcome to Indigo.
Heather, Indigo's chief book lover. Just who I was looking for. Point me to the perfect book for the little ones on my list who love to dress in tutus and ballet shoes.
Oh, Santa, so glad you asked. One of my faves this season, a pop-up book of Swan Lake with the real Tchaikovsky music embedded in every page.
Well, I'm happy I ran into you.
At Indigo, we've got gifts so special, even Santa shops here.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. And Pro predicts the price won't change at midnight. It'll hold at $1.52.9 a litre.
It's 1:40.
It's Employment Law Q&A.
From 680 News Radio and Canada's leading employment lawyer, Howard Levitt, at levittlawyers.com.
True or false, Howard? If I have never had an employment contract or my boss wants me to sign a new one, do I have to?
False. Employers have employees sign contracts for the employer's benefit, not the employees. And if you refuse to sign and they fire you for that, you're entitled to full wrongful dismissal damages.
If I'm on disability leave, I do not have to provide my employer with any information.
False. An employer is entitled to know enough to find a way that you can continue working and to know whether you're able to return to work.
My employer is not allowed to contact me while I'm on leave.
False. They can ask you how you're doing, and they also can ask you about work, so they can stay up to date on what they need to do with you absent.
To contact Howard, visit levittlawyers.com. That's levittlawyers.com.
Employment Law Q&A.
From Howard Levitt at 680 News Radio Toronto.
680 News Times 141.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Groundworks. Eastbound on the Gardner at Parkside, 2 right lanes are still closed. This is for dump truck fire cleanup, and that is causing a heavy backup eastbound Gardner. Very slow from approaching Park Lawn to Parkside. You're only passing by this problem using the left lane. So a lot of drivers taking eastbound Lakeshore instead. That's busier than usual, especially from Parkside to Jameson. But that's definitely the busiest section on the eastbound Lakeshore. Now, with the visual distraction westbound Gardner, that's quite slow from Jarvis right through to Parkside. And you'll find the westbound Lakeshore backed up heading towards Jameson. Westbound QEW, minor volume through Dixie from Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and then from Burloak to Guelph Line. Eastbound QEW is busy from Guelph Line to east of Walkers, and then a couple of other slow spots after that. Nothing too serious. Eastbound on the 401, watch out for tire debris as you're heading past the 407. Last seen in the 3 right lanes. So again, be careful eastbound 401 at the 407. There's no delay. It is busy after that from approaching the 427 to east of Kiel, alternately express and collectors, and a delay in Durham from east of Westney to east of Salem. Westbound on the 401, west of the 404 in the express, the right lane is blocked because of a stalled truck. This problem's been here for an hour now. Delays westbound 401 from the 412 to Salem, and then jammed up from Warden to Avenue in both the express and collectors. MTO's reporting a collision northbound on the 400 near Highway 89. Looks like it's a little bit closer to Innisfil Beach Road, and seeing a bit of a delay there. The right lane is blocked with that collision. On city streets, North Queen is closed in both directions between Atomic and Shorncliffe for a collision investigation, and all lanes northbound on the East Mall are blocked at Burnhamthorpe because of a sinkhole. Are you ignoring sagging floors, drywall cracks, or a wet basement? Contact Groundworks for a free inspection. They're experts in foundation repair, crawl space, and basement waterproofing. Visit groundworks.ca today. With the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Scattered flurries and still periods of light snow across the GTA today. It's very light and hit and miss. We don't have any weather alerts here, but there's still quite a few snow squall warnings through the snow belt. Weather advisories in Orangeville, Mount Forest, northern Wellington County, southern Dufferin County. So we are nearby where we're seeing a bit more accumulation. So if you just head out a little bit out of the GTA, you could be in for some worse road and driving conditions. Now tonight, we're down to about -4 for a low. Tomorrow, widespread snow, not a ton, but a few centimeters, 3 to 5 centimeters at this point for the GTA. And that's going to be widespread. It's a system that's bringing us some snow through the day tomorrow. Right now, it's -2, feels like a -10 at Pearson. Really gusty, cold winds. Our guaranteed high today, -1.
680 News Time, 144.
Join the circle of life at the Lion King. Don't miss your chance to experience the world's #1 musical. The Lion King is one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage. Feel alive at the Lion King. Now on stage at Toronto's Princess of Wales Theatre. Give the gift that roars at Mervish.com.
At Cora, we know that during the holidays, people are torn between the joy of giving and receiving. But with Cora, why choose? With every $25 gift card you buy, you get a $10 promo card for a limited time in restaurants at Cora Breakfast and Lunch.
Where do you find your go-to festive favorites? At Metro, of course. Get holiday dinner essentials like frozen grade A turkey for just $1.47 per pound. But only until December 11th at your go-to Metro or online at metro.ca.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
Cloudy sky in downtown Toronto, -2. Feels like -9. Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Parrott.
And I'm John Leatherby. Here's a look at the afternoon's top stories.
Well, even though Canada's economy added more than 50,000 jobs last month, the unemployment rate is now at a more than 7-year high, which now boosts the chances of another large interest rate cut next week. The jobless rate jumped to 6.8% in November. One person has died of their injuries after a 2-vehicle crash in Etobicoke. This happened just before noon today at Atomic Avenue and North Queen Street near the 427 and Queensway. 2 other people hurt in the collision have suffered minor injuries. And coming up after sports, it's going to be a big day in Paris tomorrow. We'll tell you why. It's time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Rajesh Dave.
Sarah, an early holiday treat for Maple Leafs fans from Friday night hockey for the Buds as they play host to the Capitals and eye a 4th straight win. They've been perfect since the return of Captain Austin Matthews, looking to create some separation now from Florida atop the division. Anthony Stolarz the projected starter for tonight. It goes at 7 o'clock. More NHL. The Rangers have scratched Jacob Trouba for tonight as they take on Pittsburgh at 7:30 on Sportsnet. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman also reporting the Rangers have several trade options for Trouba, but he can still block them with his partial no-trade clause. Meanwhile, the Canucks host the Blue Jackets, while the Stars are in Sin City for the Golden Knights. No Raptors basketball tonight, coming off their loss to the Thunder. They're up against the Mavs here at home tomorrow. 14 teams hitting the court today, including LeBron James and the Lakers, as they tip off against the Hawks at 7:30 on Sportsnet 1. That's capped off by the Warriors and T-Wolves at 10, also on Sportsnet 1. Boston's Jaylen Brown also fined this afternoon by the NBA for $25,000. That's for his throat slash gesture against the Pistons on Wednesday. The baseball moves continue with the Juan Soto decision expected any day now, really. Free agent catcher Danny Jansen reportedly bound for Tampa Bay on a 1-year deal at $8.5 million. MLS, Lionel Messi's been named league MVP today after a standout season with Inter Miami. He led the league with 36 goal contributions in just 19 matches. And lots of local action today. The Marlies visiting Laval tonight at 7. The Steelheads in Niagara at the same time. Generals in London at 7, while Raptors 9:05 play Westchester at 7:30. The Toronto Scepters back in action tomorrow afternoon against the Frost. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
This holiday season, it's not all about the ho-ho-ho. It's all about the low-low-low. Lone Star's 2 can dine for $59.99. Enjoy a Tex-Mex 3-course meal with your choice of AAA steak, sizzling fajitas, barbecue ribs, shrimp tacos, and more. Start with the famous queso and top it off with churros for dessert. A 3-course meal for 2 for $59.99. Your home for fajitas, Ritas, and good times.
At Wine Rack, you can shop and savor top picks for the holidays. Along with a wide selection of seasonal favorite wines for gifting and hosting, we're offering big savings on our lowest prices of the season. Right now, you can save up to $4 on your favorite wines, like great-tasting Jackson Triggs, Inniskillen, and Sandbanks. For quality wines at a great price, why not pop in to see us this holiday season? Wine Rack, in your neighborhood, local grocery store, and at winerack.com.
Must be legal drinking age. Please enjoy responsibly. See store for details.
Hi, Alan Merriam from Merriam Pianos, announcing our largest holiday clearance sale ever. Every piano is reduced to clear. Choose from over 300 open box premium digital and acoustic pianos, all certified and warranted, starting from just $295. And brand new baby grands from just $89.95. Merriam's holiday clearance sale, Canada's largest selection, on now at all Merriam and Robert Lowry locations.
680 News Time, 1:49.
Notre Dame Cathedral will welcome back visitors tomorrow, more than 5 years after that devastating fire in April 2019. More from ABC's James Longman.
The world's most famous cathedral has never looked better. Now set to hold an invitation-only reopening ceremony Saturday. And on Sunday, Our Lady of Paris will welcome worshippers once again. This has been Europe's biggest restoration project in a generation. 2,000 specialists, from carpenters and stonemasons to artists and metalworkers.
2 Canadian blacksmiths played a role in the cathedral's historic restoration. One from Toronto, the other from Montreal. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather.
680 News Time, 1:50.
From Toyo's Observe Winter tires to Celsius and Open Country lines of all-weather tires, Toyo has a cold weather solution for you. Toyo Tires, making tires for your road. Ready to boost your inventory with Toyo product? Become a dealer today by visiting tirediscountergroup.ca/dealers.
Tire Discounter Group. TireDiscounterGroup.ca.
Nobody
wants their business to be a best-kept secret. You want everyone to know. And here's how to get the word out. When you've got a great product and it's made in Ontario, register your brand with supportonteriomade.ca. It's free. The truth is, businesses and consumers want to support local. They're just not sure how. Ontario Made is on a mission to make local manufacturers top of mind. This free branding program helps you stand out in a crowded marketplace and grow your supply chain. Do it today. Register your manufacturing business at supportonteriomade.ca.
680 News Time is 1:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by AGM Renovations. Eastbound on the Gardner at Parkside, 2 right lanes still closed because of an earlier dump truck fire. So eastbound Gardner is heavily backed up from approaching Park Lawn to Parkside. Only the left lane is open. Eastbound Lakeshore, that's heavy from Parkside to Jameson. Westbound on the Gardner with that visual distraction, seeing delays from just west of Jarvis all the way to Parkside. And it's slow westbound Lakeshore as you head towards Jameson. Westbound on the QEW, no problems, but some volume delays. It's a little bit busy from Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and then heading into Burlington, a slow go approaching Appleby to just west of Guelph Line. Westbound on the 401, west of the 404 in the Express, the right lane is blocked with a stalled truck. Delays on the westbound 401, first through Durham, a bit busy from the 412 to Salem, then very slow from Kennedy to Avenue, both express and collectors. Traffic drags again from Dufferin to Keele, that's mainly in the collectors, and then busy approaching Islington, express and collectors to Dixon. Some tire debris reported on the eastbound 401 at the 407, last seen in the 3 right lanes. MTO is aware of this. As for delays eastbound 401, busy approaching the 427 to east of Keele, alternately express and collectors, and then it gets jammed up from Victoria Park to approaching Kennedy, just in the collectors, and it's also busy through Salem Road. Eastbound 409, a backup from Martin Grove onto the 401 ramps, and northbound on the 400, approaching Innisfil Beach Road, the right lane is blocked with a collision. That's causing a backup from just north of Highway 89. In town, northbound East Mall at Burnham Thorpe, all lanes are blocked because of a sinkhole, and North Queen is closed in both directions east of the 427 between Atomic and Shorncliffe. That's due to a collision. Is your roof or windows over 10 years old? Old roofs and windows damage ceilings, walls, floors, and furniture. Visit agmrenovations.com. Book before December 31st and get $4,000 off. With the extended forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, still dealing with that potential of flurries and light snow today. It's some's falling through parts of York, Durham, and it's very windy. Tomorrow, system snow. So we can't catch a break. It's been a very active weather pattern. Kind of started about a week ago here in the lower Great Lakes, and we're still seeing squalls really impact parts of the snow belt. So if you're headed north of the GTA, we're still getting hit pretty hard in some of those communities, Barrie and north, anywhere along the Georgian Bay shoreline. So just being extra mindful on the roads, and tomorrow a couple centimeters for the GTA. Sunday temperatures are actually kind of taking a turn. We're going to be, I guess you could say, mild on Sunday, about 5-6 degrees for a high, and a chance of showers by Sunday night and through Monday. A few millimeters of rain expected. Right now it's -2, the guaranteed high -1.
680 News Time, 1:54.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Nav Bhatia's Genesis Mississauga.
From courtside to luxury rides, go where the basketball stars shine, on the road.
Visit genesismississauga.ca today for an experience centered around you.
Search Kings is saying out loud what many small business owners are thinking. What good is a digital plan and all of its buzzwords if it doesn't make the phones buzz at your business? Discover instead what thousands of Canadian business owners already know. The phone rings with Search Kings. And with Call Intelligence, evaluating, summarizing, and scoring every incoming call, you never have to say, I wonder what's working. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
Ask your smart speaker to play 680 News Radio Toronto.
The Maple Leafs have a rare Friday game against the Capitals as they search for a 4th consecutive win. Here's 680's Rajesh Dave.
It's been a fun stretch for the Leafs, 10-2 in their past dozen, leading the league during that span, still undefeated since getting Austin Matthews back. He shared a line with Mitch Marner at practice this morning after their collaboration against the Preds proved effective. Morgan Riley.
I think they just have a really good feel for each other, and when you combine that with, what I said, their skill set and their IQ, good things tend to happen.
Meanwhile, John Tavares on being left off of camp Canada's roster for the upcoming Four Nations face-off.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Obviously, would love to have been a part of it. Playing in best-on-best tournaments internationally and playing for the Stanley Cup is the pinnacle of our sport.
Tavares adding he did speak with Hockey Canada, but hasn't heard about being an injury replacement yet. Head coach Craig Berube on tonight's matchup against Washington.
They're a big, heavy team in my opinion. They're going to forecheck hard, and they're good on the rush. And we had our hands full in there.
Puck drops at 7. I'm Virjesh Dave.
The Market Minute is next.
'Twas the nights before Christmas, and Santa was stirring. His elves were in agreement, as they were conferring. For jolly St. Nick needed extra space, and Access Storage was the perfect hiding place.
When you need space like Santa, head to Access Storage for safe and affordable storage solutions near you. You can create the space you need when you need it. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at over 100 locations in Ontario. Visit accessstorage.ca.
Comfort is personal. Does your chair fit you perfectly? Tired of oversized recliners? Visit Scandicor Burlington. They have the largest gallery of top-notch streamlined and compact Scandinavian recliners and motion sofas, offering great ergonomic support and personalized comfort. Whether you need a chair with a separate ottoman, a power recliner, or a lift recliner for a senior, Scandicor has it all. Save up to 40% on select models and colors. Visit Scandicor today on Fairview off the QEW between Appleby and Walker's Line or scandicor.ca.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, record high on Bay Street again today. It's actually on track for a winning week, up by about 0.5%. The TSX right now is higher by 80 points. 25,760. Now, Class A shares in Canadian Tire moving lower on Bay Street, down by about 1%. The company has decided to retain 100% ownership of its financial services business after assessing strategic alternatives. It's also planning to expand its retail ecosystem around the Triangle Rewards program. The Canadian dollar sinking today after the latest jobs report did show the creation of 51,000 jobs last month. Now, it sounds good, but the unemployment rate rose to 6.8%. That's the highest in 3 years. Does increase the odds for a 0.5-point interest rate cut by the Bank of Canada next Wednesday. Our loonie right now is down almost 0.7 cents, 70.64 cents U.S. Now on Wall Street, records for the S&P and the NASDAQ again today. The NASDAQ up by 137, the S&P higher by 12 points. The Dow is down 85. And then also watching Bitcoin today. Right now it's up 2.6% at 101,617. Remember, it moved above 100,000 for the first time ever earlier this week. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
What's your portfolio's most valuable asset? It may be your financial advisor. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to see why advice matters.
We have a plan that's connecting Ontario. We're leading the largest transit expansion in North America. New projects like the Ontario Line subway and Hazel McCallion Light Rail will relieve overcrowding, with the Scarborough and Yonge North subways connecting more communities, and expanding GO Transit with more trips, faster train service, and two-way all-day service. Also, you can get around faster, safer, easier. See what we're building in your community at ontario.ca/builds. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos. Malcolm gets his accent right with Babbel's speech recognition.
Sur le point.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Right now, go to babbel.com/radio to get 60% off. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 60% off.
Now, regional weather conditions for Coy Brothers.
No driveway is too big or too small when you've got a Toro snowblower.
Purchase in-store or online, either is fine.
Toro at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
Kitchener, partly cloudy, -4. Snow, -3 in Barrie. In downtown Toronto, it's cloudy, -2. Feels like -9. 680 News Time, 2 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good afternoon. It's Friday, December the 6th. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here's what's making news this hour.
One man is dead after a crash in Etobicoke. 2 others have been injured. Toronto police are still trying to piece together what happened.
And now we wait for next week's interest rate announcement, how today's unemployment numbers may affect your bottom line.
Memorials are being held across the country today, including here in Toronto, to mark the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women on the 35th anniversary of the massacre at École Polytechnique.
What's the new head of Metrolinx planning to do to get the crosstown running?
Well, I'm going to start talking to partners.
But why the opposition?
I'm deeply concerned about the new Phil Verster.
Isn't so convinced.
Maple Leafs are back at Scotiabank Arena tonight to welcome in the Capitals. Anthony Stolar's in goal, and Danny Jansen has a new team, and it's once again in the Blue Jays division. Sports at 15.
Records on markets on both sides of the border after jobs reports were released in Canada and the U.S., and our loonie drops by more than 0.5 cent. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 2:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
Eastbound on the 401, be careful as you're heading past the 407. Some tire debris in the 3 right lanes. And there's a new problem on the eastbound 401 east of Avenue Road and the Express. The right lane is blocked because of a stalled transport truck. So delays through the city as you approach the 427 to east of Keele, alternately Express and Collectors. And now it's jammed from the Allen to this problem just east of Avenue Road and the Express. A little bit busy in the Collectors east of the Allen, but for now, those collector lanes are moving better from the Allen onwards. And if you're traveling westbound on the 401, there's still a problem west of the 404 in the Express. Right lane blocked because of a stalled truck. Delays anywhere from Kennedy to Avenue, alternately Express and Collectors. Bit busy from Dufferin to Keele in the Collectors, and then slow approaching Islington, Express and Collectors to Dixon. Eastbound on the Gardner, problems continue at Parkside. 2 right lanes still closed for dump truck fire cleanup, so a heavy backup from Park Lawn. You'll find eastbound Lakeshore busy from Parkside to Jameson, and it's slower than usual on the westbound Gardner with that visual distraction. All clear northbound 400 approaching Innisfil Beach Road. MTO says that collision's gone. On city streets, still a couple of closures. Northbound East Mall at Burnhamthorpe, all lanes are blocked for sinkhole repairs. And then North Queen is closed in both directions between Atomic and Shorncliffe. That's east of the 427. All lanes all lanes on North Queen are closed both directions for this collision investigation. Your next traffic report is at 2:11. Now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, still a bit unsettled today at times. We've seen some flurries and some periods of light snow. It's very windy and cold. This is just a blustery couple of days here. We have a wind chill of -10 at the moment, so dress for that wind chill. As we move through tonight, we're down to about -4, and the winds are shifting slightly for Saturday, Sunday. We start to get a little milder, so not quite as cold. But we have widespread snow in the forecast for Saturday, a few centimeters. Today's guaranteed high -1.
News Time, 2:03.
We have breaking news from Etobicoke this afternoon. A man involved in a multi-vehicle crash has died in hospital.
2 others were injured in this collision. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with the latest. Phil.
Sarah, the crash happened around 11:45 this morning at Avenue and North Queen Street near the 427 and the Queensway. Toronto police say 2 vehicles were involved. Initially, they reported 2 occupants of one of those vehicles had no vital signs. Now, according to Kyle Hawking, who was over the scene in Chopper 680, it looks like this was a high-speed crash between a black sedan and a black SUV.
Both now facing perpendicular.
Key interest rate expected to be slashed again next week. Economists believe it could be another aggressive cut. This as the country's unemployment is now up to its highest level in more than 7 years, despite the economy adding jobs in November. 680 senior business analyst Mike Epples here with the latest. That's Canada.
The economy added over 51,000 jobs last month, which was twice the forecast, but the source expanded at such a clip that it far exceeded the jobs created. More than 130,000 people re-entered the workforce. The labor force participation rate was on the rise, and the net result, the unemployment rate went up 0.3% to its highest level since early 2017 at 6.8%. Many of the provinces saw unemployment rates going up. Ontario's jumped to 7.6%, up by almost a full percentage point month to month. Jobs were being found in the public sector, healthcare and employment, lost in warehousing and transportation. The youth unemployment rate now stands at almost 14%. Next Wednesday, the Bank of Canada will be cutting interest rates. The prevailing wisdom now in the market is that the central bank could go a full 50 basis points. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
It's a somber day in Canada as we mark 35 years since 14 women were slaughtered at Montreal's École Polytechnique. Here in Toronto, a ceremony took place at Women's College Hospital. 680's Momin Qureshi joins us live with more, including some comments from Mayor Olivia Chow. Momin.
Here in the auditorium at Women's College Hospital, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and Mayor Olivia Chow both taking part in the ceremony honoring the 35th anniversary of the Montreal massacre at École Polytechnique, where 14 women were murdered simply for being women. Another 14 were shot and survived. Now, Mayor Olivia Chow speaking to us afterwards, saying that what happened on that day 35 years ago, she remembers very vividly, launching into basically fundraising to help people out. And she said that actually inspired her to talk about the way intimate partner violence affected her own family.
You hide it, right? And after December 6th, as I reflected more, as more people spoke up, I thought, gee, I'm not alone, that I need to start speaking out and that I need to work for change.
The mayor actually also announcing that the city is giving $100,000 to Interval House. That is a foundation that helps women experiencing intimate partner violence find ways to escape their situation. I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time is 2:07. The new CEO of Metrolink says he has a plan to get the long-delayed Eglinton Crosstown LRT back up and running, but the opposition, well, they remain skeptical. 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern has more.
When I asked Michael Lindsay this week, the new CEO of Metrolinx, if the Eglinton Crosstown would be open in 2025, everyone in the room, including him, were in stitches.
Will the Eglinton Crosstown open at some point in 2025?
I will do everything that I can in partnership with government to bring that project online.
But what exactly will Lindsay, who's coming over from Infrastructure Ontario, do different?
Well, I'm going to start talking to partners and government, and I'm going to talk to the staff at Metrolinx. This is a moment, intentionally, of trying to think about, with fresh eyes, what could we do?
The opposition, though, aren't so convinced. Mike Schreiner is the leader of the Green Party.
I'm deeply concerned about the new filverster.
If you're going to gain confidence of people, you need to come out now and be honest with the people of Ontario why the Eglinton Crosstown has been delayed.
The Crosstown now in its 14th year of construction. Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
There's more fallout today from the Canada Post strike, which is now 3 weeks old. 680's business analyst Chris McCusker explains.
The Canada Post strike has created an uptick in deliveries for companies like Purolator and UPS, so much so that both have been forced to pause shipments. Bad weather has also complicated matters, so Purolator says it needs to prioritize critical shipments, and that means a freeze on service for some partners. So couriers like eShipper have been told no shipments will be processed or moved for 48 hours starting Wednesday. The walkout by 55,000 members of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers has now entered a fourth week. Canada Post is now reviewing new counter proposals from the union. I'm Chris McCusker.
And we'll have a check of gas prices coming up next. 680 News Time is 2:09.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute, with news about another Herzig innovation. Announcing light adjustable lenses, one of the greatest advances in vision correction for eyes over 40 ever. Adjustable means we can adjust your lens after your procedure to whatever level of vision precision you prefer. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, staying at $1.52.9 a litre at most GTA stations.
680 News Time, 2:10.
Looking for a new home for your business? Look no further than Calgary, offering a great place to live, a young skilled talent pool, space to expand, and low cost of doing business. Your company will thrive here. Every day, Calgarians embrace challenges to create startups and to scale up. From clean tech, health, quantum, aerospace, and more. Join our community of innovators that will support your growth. Because in Calgary, it's all possible. Contact us at info@calgaryeconomicdevelopment.com and learn what Calgary can do for your business.
A Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And right now in Toronto, any classic donut is $1 when you buy any size original or dark roast coffee. Get a deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's Dollar Donut. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Toronto for limited time. Terms apply. See app for details.
Discover more value this holiday at Loblaws. Until December 11th, save over 45% on pork side ribs for $2 a pound. And get family-sized boneless, skinless chicken thighs for $4.77 a pound. Conditions apply. See flyer for details.
6:80 News Time, 2:11.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Bravo. Eastbound on the Gardner at Parkside, traffic is still down to a single left lane, and this is for dump truck fire cleanup. That truck caught fire just after 10:30 this morning, so cleanup ongoing, and it's very busy on the eastbound Gardner and the eastbound Lakeshore. So a backup from about Park Lawn to Parkside if you're taking the eastbound Gardner, and eastbound Lakeshore busiest from Parkside to Jameson. Northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, a slow go from Don Mills to north of Lawrence, but no problems. Westbound 401, that issue west of the 404 and the Express has cleared. Still quite busy on the westbound 401 from Kennedy to Avenue, Express and Collectors. Slows again approaching Islington, Express and Collectors to Dixon. Eastbound on the 401, tire debris as you head past the 407, last seen in the 3 right lanes. And then there's a problem on the eastbound 401 just beyond Avenue Road in the Express. The right lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. So expect delays from the 427 to east of Avenue, alternating between the Express and Collectors. Slightly better in the collector lanes, at least from Kiel to east of Avenue. And if you're heading into Durham, it's slow from Westney to east of Salem. A busy drive southbound on the 400 from Shepherd to the eastbound 401 ramp. Traffic is slow southbound 404 DVP from Finch to south of Lawrence. And the westbound Gardner is quite slow as well. West of Jarvis to Parkside, extra busy because of that problem on the eastbound Gardner, causing the visual distraction. On city streets, 2 closures in place. North Queen is blocked in both directions east of the 427 between Atomic and Shorncliffe. That's for a collision investigation. And northbound East Mall at Burnhamthorpe, all lanes closed there. That is due to a sinkhole. Just got word from MTO about a new problem on the eastbound 403. East of Wilson, the left lane is now blocked with a collision. The ultimate late night hangout. Get your dose of laughs and surprises at Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Sundays through Thursdays, only on Bravo, or stream it on City TV Plus. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
It's -2 downtown. It feels like -9. Cold and windy afternoon. And we still have some flurries and dealing with some lake effect squalls through Huron and Georgian Bay communities. So be very mindful once you head north of the GTA or west. It gets a little trickier to navigate the roadways. Tonight's low is near -4. Tomorrow, periods of snow. It's a system that's going to bring us a couple of centimeters, 3 to 5 centimeters on average here for the GTA. Right now at Pearson, it's -2. Our overnight low -4.
680 News Time. 680 News Time, 2:13.
And coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have a check of the afternoon's top headlines as well as sports.
Toronto Kids Fashion Week Season 25 is here. Canada's biggest children's fashion event featuring top designers from around the globe. Witness the future of kids fashion as young talents take the spotlight, showcasing creative designs and setting new trends. The most amazing Toronto Kids Fashion Week Season 25, December 7th at Heritage Court in the Enner Care Center. Get your tickets now at tkfw.ca.
The Linen Chef's biggest sale of the year is now on. Save up to 70% on the largest selection of home fashions. Luxury sheet sets, duvets and pillows, comforters and duvet covers, electrical appliances, wine coolers and coffee machines, dinnerware, cutlery, cookware and glassware. You'll find everything for the home, including famous designers, brand names and exciting gift ideas at the lowest prices found anywhere. The biggest sale of the year is now on at all Linen Chef stores.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
Right now, -2 degrees and cloudy in downtown Toronto. A wind chill, though, of -9. Good afternoon to you. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour.
Breaking news out of Etobicoke, where one person's dead, 2 other people injured after a crash in the West End around the noon hour. Our Phil Martino will bring you the latest. And the unemployment rate in this country up in November. That despite thousands of full-time jobs being created. At 2:15, it's time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Hello there, Alex Sixero.
Hello, John. Good afternoon. Well, it worked so well on Wednesday, so the Leafs will start tonight's game with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner together. Matthew Nyes, the other line mate.
I mean, their chemistry is, obviously there. They know where each other are at all times, and they can make incredible plays.
Leafs host the Capitals down at Scotiabank Arena, going for a 4th straight win and an 11th in 13 games. Anthony Stolarz and Charlie Lindgren in goal. Sportsnet 590 The Fan with the call at 7 o'clock with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Meanwhile, the Rangers will sit captain Jacob Trouba for tonight's matchup with the Penguins. He did not hit waivers at 2 like some thought, but he could be traded. Sounds like Anaheim could be in the mix there. Sportsnet will have the game at 7:30. Later tonight, it's Columbus in Vancouver. In the American Hockey League, the Marlies have a back-to-back in Laval this weekend. Starting tonight, they'll take on the Rocket at 7. Baseball news, a new team for Danny Jansen and the former Jay is staying in the American League East. Jansen reportedly signing a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Rays worth $8.5 million US. Basketball, the Raptors continue their homestand tomorrow when they take on Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. And Sportsnet 1 has a double dip this evening. The Lakers, coming off a terrible showing a couple of nights ago, get the Hawks at 7:30, and it's Minnesota Golden State at 10. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
This holiday season, every child deserves to laugh and play, especially those in the hospital. Help Campfire Circle bring joy and laughter to kids with serious illness